This will go to my grandkids one day. I hope they enjoy it as much as I do. Right, I suppose I've got to finish with the last Ferguson I got, which is she's really my pride and joy, this one. Graham Lee helped me find this way back in 2007. There was a deceased estate just north of Orewa, near the Puhoi Tunnel, or Johnston's Hill. I put a valuation on it. There was 3 other people bid on it, and the guy accepted my bid. So I bought this here, brought it home in 2008. So I've actually got pictures of this here with me and my dad going and getting it and retrieving it from the farm. I suppose what's really unique about this machine here is probably a little bit of witnesses marks here might tell you something here if you have a really close look, but still got the witness mark of the rib of that tire whenever she was brand new. This tractor, whenever I bought her and first saw it in 2007, had 124 hours in the clock. 124. It's the rear tires, front tires. This is her. This is as she was. Had a little bit of rust on top of the mud guards and on top of the bonnet. Had been in the shed unused for about 5 years, and it had 3 or 4 drums of 2,4-D. It had gone onto the roof, and it had rusted on the roof, and it had done quite a bit of damage. So she's like my other tractors. I take everything back, polish it right back to bare steel. So there was not one piece of paint in this tractor that wasn't completely removed back to bare steel. So today she's still under 150 hours, like 148 hours. So it's a straight axle, and this is an 8-speed. Unfortunately, she didn't have multi-power, but it's so rare. So this is a keeper. This will go to my grandkids one day. I hope they enjoy it as much as I do. Like, still get the original vinyl seat of Massey Ferguson. The underside of this seat never been painted. It's as polished as it was the day it came from the factory. If you went to the rear end, you'd find that all of the bolts, anything that was cadmium plated, linkages, all cadmium plated. Anything that was cadmium plated from factory has been recadmium plated again to keep the authenticity. It was a rare one to find. There was an article in the British Classic Tractor magazine, and it was captured, or it was entitled "A Rare Find." And yes, there are a few of Massey Ferguson's and other brands around that have got very, very low hours, but I would think that, or doubt that there'd be another 135 in New Zealand that would have the genuine hours on that. I remember we had the tractor club here many years ago, and I was showing it off to them because we have tractor meetings with the Vintage Tractor Club, and all people come all around the country were part of the Massey Ferguson Heritage Club. And one guy was really astounded by the hours, and I don't know whether he was trying to catch me out or not, but he said to me, he said, "Oh, you know how these seats, the nylon rollers always wear out in the back of these seats. How do you get the rollers? Have you had to get them all replaced and get new bushes done?" I said, "I don't think you heard me." I said, "I told you she's 124 hours. She wouldn't need new bushes at that." So there's always some people who have a little bit of disbelief. John Walsh, a local enthusiast for Ferguson, he's Mr. Ferguson in the Waikato. John, he's got a massive shed, got heaps and heaps of Massey Fergusons and vintage equipment and tools for the farm. He saw this the day I brought her home. I've got original photographs of it. This gentleman that had this here, he was an accountant, and he worked in Wellsford. He had this dry stock farm, say at Puhoi. All this tractor done in its life, it had a Bisley grader blade on the back. It came with a Bisley scoop and a carry tray, a Rosswood carry tray. It only ever had the grader blade in the back, and he would have graded from the cattle yards to State Highway 1 once or twice a year, and that's all it ever done. When I pulled the tappet cover off it, it had it signed by the gentleman who did the PD in this machine, and I knew him well. He used to work on Rosemount Road in Auckland for CB Norwards. So we used to always, it was a habit, because we were Massey Ferguson dealers for many years at Maple Motors. And contrary to what they do today, we used to have to take the tappets off and tighten the head down and reset the tappets. You don't do that today in modern tractors. But then when you did it, you always inscribed as a scriber your name on the inside of the tappet cover. It was just some of the things that we used to do. And Tom's name is underneath the tappet cover. But if you were to come around the back and have a look, the PDO cover on this machine, she's never had anything on its PDO in the day it was born. This tractor has never had anything in the PDO. As I say, this is my little pride and joy. She goes into the shed. She might get started 2 or 3 times a year, but she's jacked up and she's sitting in wooden blocks so that the tires have got no weight on the tires, because what will fail will be the tires will perish because of age. You imagine that she's 1977, sorry, so she's getting a bit of age on it. Say my first employer was with Laurie Maber, and at that stage Jeff was a salesman on the road, and we had branches in Morrinsville, Matamata, Pararoa, and a service agency working out of Waihee, and then we had another premises in Matamata and one in Patararu. But Laurie was very much of a people person. You walk into the workshop and he'd have a word to say to every one of the staff. He was one of the lads, really. He was always, he'd never say no, just get the job done. And there was no such things as, it was a great team effort. And like Jeff, to be fair, in those early days, we never saw the guy. He was out selling, and the retail, he was just a dynamo. I'd have to say he married the perfect woman, Linda, because really he spent many, many hours away, and that's probably why this company is so successful. A great team. She knew he was working, she knew what he was up to, and he was the man on the job. He's seen opportunities. He had many as a setback, but not one of those setbacks put him back. He always came back stronger and stronger and stronger, and I think where we are today is just through sheer tenacity of not wanting to lose. Win, 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 and he had a heart and passion for tractors. Like, he could say, he could make money in the share market, but what a waste of time. There's no excitement in that. There's nothing like getting out and selling a farmer a tractor, a piece of gear, and then selling the son a tractor and some gear, and then selling the grandson. Now, that is history. What a great team, what a great company to work for. Power Farming.